The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Which players will the Jets attempt to sign in free agency? A Jets insider tipped the Jets' thought process on where things could be headed. We will talk about that and much more. Robby Sabo joins us. It's the Jake Asman Show, live on a Tuesday, and it starts right now.
I let the organization down, and I let the players down, and that burns me. It really does. This season's on me, and we're going to work our ass off to get this shit exactly where it needs to be.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And, of course, a reminder that if you miss any of the show, you can always listen back via the podcast to anything you might have missed. Check us out on either Apple or Spotify. Tonight at 9, Vice TV. Don't Call It a Comeback, a documentary all about the Monday Night Miracle, and yours truly is featured in it.
It's prime time, so that's when you want to play your best game.
Definitely a historic rivalry between the Jets and the Dolphins.
It's like, damn, dude, you know, what the hell's going on?
We were down 30-7. The fans left the stadium.
I think that's where you get to see what you're made of and what your team is made of.
Don't Call It a Comeback. New episode next Tuesday at 9 p.m. only on Vice TV.
Vice TV tonight. Check it out. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I haven't seen it. I've just seen the trailer just like everyone else. So I'm looking forward to watching it live tonight on Vice at 9. Let's say hello to our guy, Robby Sabo, who, of course, co-founded the website JetsXFactor.com, host of the Underdog podcast with Jets legend Wayne Corbett. Mr. Sabo, how we feeling on this fine Tuesday morning?
Vice TV, man, I want to curse him out for not getting me involved, but it was totally my fault. I screwed the pooch, didn't reply in the email. You know, having Corbett on the podcast, that would have been nice. And plus I was in high school. My best friend was a Dolphins fan. So the next morning at lunch, or next morning and then at lunch, him sitting right across from me on that Tuesday, glorious. It was just one of the best days of school ever, which
if you remember too, by the way, that was during an off night of the 2000 Subway World Series.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was perfectly aligned. And then one of those Subway Series games was the same night as homecoming. So, you know, here we all are at homecoming, senior year, trying to watch the game. I don't know where we got the TV from, but we found a TV in the school and we're just tucked away in one of the classrooms watching the game. It was good stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking present day New York Jets. Hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Of course, we have to. There's a lot to discuss with the New York Jets. They continue to add some coaches underneath Frank Reich, of course, who's the OC, and Brian Duker, who is the DC. Real quick, Robby, because I've not had you on since I was traveling last week at the Super Bowl in the Bay Area. Your thoughts on the Reich hire as the OC before we talk about some interesting comments from The Athletic about targets for the Jets in free agency.
Reich, I've been diving into a lot of his tape and got something coming out on JetX, I think today, hopefully today, film related. I think... Listen, there are questions. There are questions about potentially being outdated in terms of a offensive mind, but considering what the options were, I like it. I like it a lot more than the general consensus, I believe. Where do Jets fans stand on it, do you think? What do you think? Is it hot and cold? Is it more cold than hot at this point?
Yeah, I think in terms of like what the other options were, I feel like Frank Reich was probably the best they could do, right?
But overall, like compared to Tanner, I think the consensus would rather have Tanner over Reich, right?
Yeah, I would say that's fair. I think if you hired Frank Reich to work with quarterbacks and be a senior, offensive mind on the staff, assistant head coach, but Tanner remains the play caller, and then I think it'd be a home run. But given the alternatives were Darrell Bevel or Greg Roman, I think Reich, former head coach, offensive guy, former quarterback, I think that's important. I think it's the best they could have done.
I'd say this. I like it more than people do right now. I'd say the more I dig in, the more I see that he's not married to one particular thought. Like he's week to week. He's situational. He's running pistol in Carolina for Bryce Young, a lot of RPO. Not in Indy so much. With certain quarterbacks, a little bit tossed in, but he's not married to one thing. And I think the best thing Glenn could have done, and this is a good sign to me, is choose Reich and not be enamored by Greg Roman, because Greg Roman to me is the guy whose thinking lines up with Glenn perfectly. Runs committed to the run, thinks like an offensive lineman, believes everything is attached. The tentacles come off the run game. And that is Aaron Glenn, as we saw this past year. Reich isn't that. Reich sees it through the quarterback lens. So the fact that, and I know they're buddies, so maybe that played into it, but the fact that he didn't choose Roman and chose Reich, I think is a good sign. And it's the antithesis of Rex choosing Tony Sparano in 2012. I'll say that.
Robby Sabo's our guest. If you have a question for him to respond to, best way to get it read is to super chat it in. Reminder that we have our new set of weekly raffle prizes, and we're starting off the offseason with a bang. Nick Mangold signed jersey with a Ring of Honor inscription included on the signature, Arvell Reese signed helmet, and a jersey signed by each member of the legendary New York Sack Exchange. Plus, end of the show today, let's raffle away a jersey to anyone who enters for this show only. Joe Namath, Joe Klecko, Curtis Martin, Robbie's co-host Wayne Corbett, Arvell Reese, Nick Mangold, and Keyshawn Johnson are your jersey options. So get away or super chat away to qualify for any of these raffle options. All right, I'm going to play you some sound here. This is from SNY's Jets Final Drive. Connor Hughes, Zach Rosenblatt are the co-host on the episode. And here's Zach, who covers the team for The Athletic, discussing what he has heard the Jets' approach to free agency is looking like.
But you and I have talked about this topic a bunch. Like, I think that they need to bring in somebody who has played for Aaron Glenn before to help establish what he's looking for in his culture. So I'm not going to say the obvious one. Actually, everybody would think Alex Anzalone is the obvious one, and I think he will be a Jet.
Answer.
But the Lions have a cornerback named Amik Robinson. I believe that's how you pronounce it. He's more of a nickel, but him and Aaron Glenn were really close. He's really good. He was really good for the Lions. He's a tough, hard-nosed kid who just buys into everything Aaron Glenn is selling. I talked to him when I did that Aaron Glenn story last year, and while I like Jarvis Brownlee, I don't think you can 100% lock him into a starting job. If you can upgrade a corner and bring in somebody who knows what Aaron Glenn is looking for, I would keep an eye on him, because from what I've been told, they are going to actively trying to bring in guys who know what Aaron Glenn is about. And so I think you look at guys like Anzalone and Amik Robertson.
So Robertson's a new name. Anzalone, and I looked up his Pro Football Reference page for the pronunciation, and it says Anzalone. So I'm going to go with Anzalone instead of Anzalone. But either way, everyone knows who we're referring to. He's been with Detroit for years. He was with the Saints previously, so Glenn knew him from New Orleans. He obviously had a relationship with him in Detroit. Those two have remained, from what anyone has said about this publicly, very close. He would make sense. He's a linebacker. He could call the defense, have the green dot on the helmet, all that. Mm-hmm. The name that I think is intriguing is Amik Robertson, who is more of a nickel, as you heard Zach say, 5'9", 183, kind of reminds you of Aaron Glenn. He's been in Detroit the last 2 years, primarily as a backup / hybrid starter. It listed him as
number
playing,
4. Was he the 4th cornerback?
Yeah, 3 or 4, depending on the different personnel packages. He started 10 games this year. He had 1 interception. He's a guy that when I texted someone who covers the Lions for a scouting report, the first thing this person wrote to me is, he is a, quote, dog. I'll read you the full scouting breakdown on him here. Would feel much more comfortable with him as a high-end depth corner because he's inconsistent and definitely did get beat at times, but he also had games where he legit shut down number 1 wide receivers when the Lions were shorthanded. Check out the Week 18 game in 2024 against the Vikings for probably the best game of his career against Justin Jefferson. Elite culture guy, very physical corner. He will be penalized in an Aaron Glenn defense, but Glenn, I'm sure, will be fine with that because he's physically imposing, and he's a guy that will certainly help change your defensive identity. So, again, I'm not trying to sell Jet fans on this guy being a star by any means, but I could definitely see the Jets being interested in that type of player based on the description I got from someone who covers the Detroit Lions.
Agreed. And they need depth at corner. I know when we're playing the depth chart game and writing names down, you like A.Z. Thomas, you like Brownlee, but man, there's nothing locked in stone there. I mean, Brownlee's got, both guys have to prove they can stay healthy first. So I am not relying on either guy. They need depth. Robertson, sure. What was it? Week 18, 2024, you said?
Week 18, 2024, when the Lions played the Vikings in the win and you're the 1 seed game.
I'll bring it up while we're talking. Yeah, dude, listen, height, cool. You have more than one slot corner on the field at times, so it's not a problem. Bring him in if he's that guy. Anzalone as well, and being a fellow Val to end the last name type guy myself, I'll always pronounce the Val unless told otherwise, like Smythe. I'm not going to go Smythy. But yeah, dude, bring him in. I think it harkens back to Phillips, your interview with Harrison Phillips, which was tremendous spot. You could see even towards the end of this past season, he was hurt. He was just putting it all on the line. And even when he got blown back, you couldn't criticize him because he was pouring his heart out on the field. And do the Jets need guys like that? And or guys that know Glenn and will preach his system a la Bart Scott Reich? Sure. That's a major piece of the puzzle. Yet, I think when we're thinking about this stuff, we can't say that's the entire piece of the puzzle. The most important piece of the puzzle is the on-field scheme and strategy and concepts and all that stuff. And Seattle on Sunday, that's all the evidence you need because McDonald is a wizard in terms of defensive play calling.
You look at Robertson, he was drafted in the 4th round in 2020 by the Raiders. So he's still a younger player. Mm-hmm. He'll be going into his age 28 season. He turns 28 in July. Again, if this is one of their moves, awesome. But they need a lot more. Now, as far as Anzalone goes, I'm okay with signing Anzalone. I asked the same Lions source for some background on Anzalone, essentially being like, how much gas does he have left in the tank? Because again, the Jets last year made a concerted effort to not sign anyone 30 or above besides Josh Reynolds. He was the only one that got a contract, and it was, a minor deal for a year and under $3 million, if I remember. So Anzalone, he is 31 years old. He turns 32 in September. So the big thing I have with him is how much does he have left? Right. And the breakdown I got is that he's probably got another good year or two in him. Elite coverage linebacker. He's a guy that would make a lot of sense for obvious reasons for Glenn. He's still good. You're probably going to have to overpay. But again, you have all this cap space. And if you want decent football players, that's the cost of doing business.
Sign me up. Whenever I hear elite coverage linebacker, sign me up. Elite coverage linebacker, elite coverage safety. Those are the guys you want. Even moving space edge guy. Like if he could drop and lock down one side of the field. That is what the Jets need in a major, major way. I know Glenn's going to preach violence and physicality. Cool. I mean, you always want your football team to be physical and violent and have that stuff. But again, it's just another small piece of the puzzle as opposed to a major, major building block, in my opinion. And coverage in terms of linebacker, that's good. So yeah, Anzalone would be a nice get if they can get him.
I think they got to obviously bring in some guys that know Glenn. That's fine, especially if he's going to be calling the defense. But doesn't this feel like something that should have been done last year? Like it just feels like the Jets again are a year too late with this stuff. We all were wondering how come there weren't more guys that knew Aaron Glenn and some of the coaches he brought in a year ago.
It was curious the way it shook out last year. It was like, I'm not saying this is true, but it was as if he was given an edict, like do this, or it was kind of, Beningo's favorite GM in New York baseball. The evaluation phase for lack of a better term. And they didn't do much. Like, they re-signed Garrett and they re-signed Sauce. So you thought they were going down that road. Like, hey, we have the personnel. We're going to stick with it. We're going to coach them up. And they went that route without doing anything unique, to your point. Like, Glenn's guys. Rex, we saw it. Leonard, Bart. So it was a strange year last year. That's a fact. Now, my question is, was it planned that way? How much of it was planned that way? And how much of it was just on the job, on the fly, go fly by your seat of your pants,
100%. Linebacker's a big need. I mean, if not Anzalone, then someone else needs to be signed. They need someone that could be the
leader,
the dude on the defense that could get everyone set, and let Sherwood get back to playing sideline to sideline and use his speed.
Yeah, Mosley, guys, track the Jets defense with Mosley on the field and with Mosley off the field. That was the major deal, in my opinion. Mosley going down, it changed everything. And for good reason. You have to have a quarterback of the defense. You have to have more than one, just in case he gets hurt. It's just that important. The on-field pre-snap checks, critical. And obviously safety, too. You need a safety who's the second leader behind the linebacker with those checks and coverage. It's on the fly with motion in today's league. It's so on the fly, and you have to be on the ball to such a ridiculous degree.
That's where Anzalone could come in, because at least he's been there, done that, played in the system. It would certainly make some sense. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Robby Sabo is our guest. We're talking all things New York Jets. When you look at the way the coaching staff is coming together, we know Seth Ryan was also added to the offensive staff as the passing game coordinator. We know Glenn's going to be calling the defense. Where are you at in terms of the staff? What has stood out to you beyond the coordinator hires?
I like Dunbar. He was with Rex, obviously, 2012 to 2014. And the speculation, because Dunbar was hired, is, Rex is going to go to a 3-4. Listen, based on Detroit, what you see on tape, I'm sure he'll throw in some principles, tight, mint, maybe even penny. I don't know. But I think it's going to be more at a nickel. He might do some base. That's fine. But let's not also forget Dunbar. When he was hired by Rex, that was his first 3-4 job. The first 12 years of his career was 4-3. So I think in that vein, they're going to be multiple. They're going to be multiple like McDonald's. It's mostly going to be 4-3, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter in today's league. You can't be one or the other. You can't play the Eric Mangini ship Vilma out of town because he doesn't fit the system game anymore. The scheme, the going from 4-3 to 3-4. It's just not the way it works. Guys have to play multiple positions. So I like the Dunbar hire. Alfredo Roberts, I don't know too much about him. I think it's a solid hire, again, coming from a successful franchise. Or he was under Tomlin for a while, I believe. And then Seth Ryan. I'm sure Jets fans love it because of Rex, and Rex's on-air live reaction was tremendous. You had to love that. But I don't know. I truly don't know about Seth Ryan. I can't say one way or the other. He is taking a big leap here, for sure, from position coach to this.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, we just don't know. I mean, we like the story. We like the name. I like the fact that he's been around Ben Johnson, but a year ago we said the same thing about Tanner. He's learned from Ben Johnson. It's not everyone can be Ben Johnson.
It's a whole new game when you're in charge. And, when you get to coordinator level, that's the case. Even pass game coordinator level, it's the case, or run game. So, and defensive too. So it'll be interesting. I have no idea. I'm trying to learn more about him. It's funny. Rex taking him out of the will because he's offensive coach. I love that line. But yeah, I have no idea. Hopefully it's a gamble worth taking.
Iowa Jet says, I'm still not sure why we think AG is calling plays, because they hired Brian Duker, who's never called plays for defense.
Why would we think he's not?
Yeah. What evidence would point to the fact that he's not the play caller? They interviewed 8 guys initially, and Duker wasn't one of them. Then the Wink Martindale thing falls apart. And now Glenn hires Duker 18 hours after he spoke to him over Zoom. Aaron Glenn's your play caller, Iowa Jets. Give me some evidence that would point to the fact he's not the play caller.
Yeah. And on top of that, listen, I've been a huge critic of Glenn this past year. I didn't like the hiring initially, and this is directly opposite of what I feel about the player. When I was a kid growing up, I loved him. But it's not about Glenn per se. It's about just where the league is. I didn't like to hire from that perspective from a Jets organization. Still, don't think he can't call a defense. He can. When you watch those Detroit's defenses under Campbell, he did some good things. Now, he's a little too married to certain things he likes, like man coverage, like press, like sending pressure in certain situations. I think he has a long way to go until he gets to a point where he's calling. See, play calling, it's not exactly about concepts or the actual play itself. Where you really master it is the flow and the predictability and all those stuff. What's the word? I don't know. I can't remember the word, but it's that stuff. Like Mike McDonald in the Super Bowl, we saw he came out, he was blitzing Drake May. He was sending extra pressure, 5-6 on the first series, second series. And I think it was a 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3 on the third drive, early in the game still. May's thinking blitz. He's thinking, oh, he's shaking in his boots, seeing ghosts. McDonald calls a 3-man rush. He dropped 8 into coverage, and it just stunned him. If you watch that playback, it stunned May. He didn't know what to do because he wasn't expecting it. That's the art of play calling, especially in today's league, where it's not about the play, it's not about concepts, it's about timing, it's about feel. And I think Glenn has a ways to go there, but don't think he's terrible. Like, he could call a defense, that's for sure.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line, like this one from Ozzy, who checks in. Shout out to you, Ozzy. You're the first to enter the jersey raffle at the end of the show. Ozzy's in for 2. Should the Jets trade the number 2 pick and go down to the bottom to add more draft picks to load up this year?
It's like one of those things. I would never say yes or no. I would never rule it out. I would never go gung ho for it. Right now, if I'm picking a player, I'm taking Arvell Reese, and it's not particularly close right now because he could be a monster in space. And I think that the position thing is largely overblown because, yeah, he played a lot of off ball in college, but when he plays edge, holy cat, for his weight and his speed and his quickness in space, he is as strong as it gets. It's scary. It really is scary. And in today's league, I'm taking a guy who could lock down an edge, who could play in space and break down and make one-on-one tackles against receivers and weapons and running backs. It's the changing of a guard. I mean, look at Witherspoon and JSN, those draft picks with Seattle, those building blocks.
Jets could have had JSN, but they didn't think he was good. It's crazy.
They could have. They absolutely could have. But it's a changing. Chicago, they went position guys, Loveland and Burden. Playing in space is it's much bigger deal these days, you know, in terms of the pendulum swinging from trenches to playing in space, as opposed to the old days where the trenches were far more valuable. Today, trenches are still valuable. Of course, we see it, but I'm just saying that needle has moved. So Arvell Reese would be the guy, but would I be opposed to trading down? No, absolutely not. If the trade is right, give me the assets for sure.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Our guy Bo C checking in. What's up, Bo? Based on our current coaching hires from a defensive perspective, all signs point to running a 3-4. In fact, that is true. What does that do for our linebackers who aren't truly built for that and the draft?
Yeah, not all signs point to 3-4. I wouldn't say that.
How much 3-4 do you think they'll be implementing?
Even if you look at the 3-4 teams in the NFL, they're still heavy 4-3. Because when you see a 4-man line in nickel, that's 4-3. It doesn't matter if the edge guys are standing up or not. That's even. That's 4-3. So every team, it's not like the old days. Every team has to run they call it 2-4-5, but it's still a 4-man front. So I wouldn't worry about the 3-4-4-3 thing. I really wouldn't. Like, we'll see 3-4 principles. I think we'll see, and we start in Detroit. Glenn runs mint. He runs tight. Penny, not so much like Fangio, but still, when you see Detroit, certain 3-4 principles, the nose tackle is right over the center. 0 tech, or it's 1 with the clear 3-4 odd front. And I think it'll be sprinkled in. I don't think it'll be the main dish on paper, if that makes sense.
I want to talk more about Arvell Reese with you. Sounds like that's your guy at this point. Is that fair?
Yes. Arvell's the dude right now, I would say.
McShay had him at number 2 in his latest mock. go more in depth on Arvell Reese. We did a film review 2 weeks ago with Joe Blewett on Reese.
Yes.
I know he likes the player a lot as well. By the way, today, Jet fans, 4 p.m. hour Eastern time, Joe Blewett on the show for the first time in 2 weeks since I was in Mobile 2 weeks ago and in San Fran last week. So Joe's back on the show. We are doing the breakdown on Bailey versus Bane for the Jets at number 2. We've done Reese. Now we'll do Bailey and Bane on the show coming up this afternoon. So check that out. But as far as Reese goes,
yeah,
Robbie, how could Aaron Glenn deploy Arvell Reese in year one, in your opinion?
Edge. I think he'd
straight
be
edge, or were you going to line him up like at linebacker too in some sets?
I think he'd be, for the most part, heavy edge. If it's any 3-4 set, he's outside linebacker, which suits him brilliantly. So to the guy who commented, all signs point to 3-4. That's one of them for your column. Even 4-3 edge, he fits. He doesn't have to be in a 2-point all the time. Edge most of the time, a hearty amount of the time, but you could stand him up when you want. Put him in the A gap to mug it on passing downs and have him drop, or have him in edge on passing downs and have him drop. Because look, when you go to PFF and you see where guys line up each positions, what's more important is what they do after the snap, not the position itself. Because if a D end is lined up on the edge, standing up in a 9 and drops to the flat, that's so much more important. It's such a note, a larger, more significant note than if he lines up on the second level at linebacker. Reese, to me, let's put it this way. Bane is more positionless than Reese, because Bane is a slower edge who's kind of a tweener. Like, you want him to be a little bigger so he could play inside a lot more, yet he's only 270. I think teams might ask him to put on some weight. So he's kind of in between, a little too slow for the outside, a little too small for the inside. I view that as more positionless than Reese, who could just play edge in every set. You drop him when he plays edge. You could put him in the A gap to mug. So that's kind of where I'm at. Bailey's the wild card. I got to look at Bailey more, I must admit. But right now, I still like Reese a little bit better because he could do more things and he could just shut down space. And having a front 7 guy off the edge who could take one-on-one against receivers and running backs, he's that athletic and that quick in space, is such a valuable thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robby Sabo is our guest. If you have a Jet-related comment you want to address, super chat it. If you have a question, same thing, write it in. Lot to talk about with the state of the New York Jets. At number 16 in the McShay mock, the Jets selected wide receiver Mekhi Lemon. Have you watched any of Mekhi Lemon to this point?
Not much. Haven't gotten into the receivers yet. The coaching hires got me stuck back on the coaches, honestly. But Lemon, from what I have seen, I don't dislike anything. Let's put it that way. Wasn't there another mock that came out that had Simpson? Or am I imagining that?
There was a mock that had Simpson that was not McShay. It was a different draft.
It was someone else? Okay.
Yeah.
But it was recent, right? If I remember correctly.
Probably. There's so many mocks. I only try to focus on ones from the biggest guys that know what they're talking about.
Agreed. It's very sane of you. Yeah, Lemon, look, he's kind of, he's not a big dude. He's kind of on the shorter side, if I remember correctly, right? 6 foot, about there. I'd rather have a more possession, high point type guy who actually has vertical speed with that. I'm not saying Lemon's not quick, but has vertical speed with the high point opposite Garrett than a Lemon. But listen, you take a weapon. You take an explosive weapon if he's there at 16. I can't knock it whatsoever.
I just think if you love Lemon, you might have to move up for him. By the way, his comp I've seen is JSN, just so people are aware.
That's his comp right now?
I've seen that. I've seen Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's also a USC wide receiver.
He's a route runner like Garrett. And listen, it's not the worst thing in the world to have 2 Garrett Wilsons. It's just not the highest ceiling perfect fit. You want to rather have a contested catch guy opposite him. But you could still absolutely get it done with those 2.
Another name to look at if they want like the complement to Garrett Wilson and to a lesser extent A.D. Mitchell. Watch Denzel Boston from Washington. You tell me how you feel about him, because he's a bigger receiver, 6'3".
Yeah, he's a bigger receiver. Was he falling out of the first round? within some of these mocks maybe a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Where does McShay have him right now?
I'd have to pull up the McShay mock. Give me a second. But I could see it. I'm telling you. I can see it.
In real time. I'm trying to get caught up on draft stuff again.
Let's see. McShay had Boston mocked. Let's go. He had Boston 19. Actually, hold on.
Okay.
No, 24 to the Browns. Excuse me.
Okay. Maybe it was the consensus mock and it was updated. The consensus website mock draft. They take a consensus, but yeah, listen, Boston intrigues me. I don't think Blewett likes him as much, if I'm not mistaken. You guys will talk about that this afternoon, I'm sure. But yeah, there's guys. There are receivers. There's no question about it. It's deep every year. Like if someone tells me the receiver class is deep again in this draft or again next year or 2028, I'll just shake my head. It's deep every year. That's just football. It's such a pass-heavy league in college, especially in college, that tight ends and receivers are going to be deep every year, period.
If you want in on the jersey raffle to win a Keyshawn, Mangold, Revis, Corbett, Martin, Klecko, or Namath jersey, make sure you gift the membership for your chance to be entered in both the raffle at the end of this show and our weekly raffle, which is being moved to Fridays now in the offseason. Little Football Friday as Maniac weekly raffle coming your way.
Jake, what's your best case scenario for 16 for them?
At 16, I think Mekhi Lemon would be a dream scenario. I really do. Because I think if you're getting the best defensive player at 2 and you're getting a guy who I think is going to be really, really good at 16 at the receiver spot, I think Muji and Glenn would have crushed it.
Can't hate it. Impossible to hate it. No question about it.
I like Styles as well, but I don't think he's going to be there. I was talking to Gary Vee about this because Vayner Sports represents him. They think he can go in the top 10, which I don't think is crazy.
No, I don't think it's crazy at all. And that is going to be after receivers. I'm going to start looking at those guys. Styles and some of the off-ball guys, safety, linebacker, all that. I'm really interested to see if the hype is worth the pick because, and I do think safety is my favorite position. I do think it's becoming more valuable. Kyle Hamilton, Baltimore, they got clowned a little bit for grabbing him. The multiplicity that comes from that, an elite guy at that position is insane. But he's got to cover. He's got to be able to play man coverage to a healthy enough degree where he could play those different positions. So Styles will be interesting, and Caleb Downs too. I got to check out both those guys.
Tom Roseman in the raffle for 1. Thank you, Tom. You're the first to gift today. Appreciate you supporting the program here. Let's talk quarterback, but not in the draft. Let's talk veteran QB options. Do you have a preference on the Jet veteran quarterback that they target, and how does hiring Frank Reich potentially now influence their approach there?
It's so listen, knowing Glenn, and I think I texted this to you before the buzz came out. I said, knowing Glenn, I feel like Kyler Murray would be a guy he'd want to target, just knowing him. Now, I kind of had pause once I realized there's questions about his commitment, playing video games, all that stuff. But aside from that, and Glenn wouldn't like that, but aside from that, I can see Glenn wanting him as long as it doesn't cost much. So I guess that was my early prediction. They'll go for Kyler. My preference, I guess, would be Cousins or Winston. I don't know where else to go, honestly. I suppose it would be Cousins or Winston. Yeah.
I don't think they're going to sign Kyler. I don't. He doesn't fit Glenn at all.
I hope so.
And Kyler Murray's like the opposite of what Glenn talks about he wants in a player.
Off field, but not on field. That's on field. It's exactly what he wants at a quarterback. Being able to use your legs, get out of the pocket, make something happen, and break the defense's back, and get throw the ball a lot better. He wouldn't worry about height. We know Glenn. Glenn's, he did it himself with the height. But off field, 100% agree. And
Frank Reich cares about height, though.
Yes, he does. True. And so the Reich hiring, it makes it feel very, very unlikely now.
So here's a clip of Aaron Glenn talking about the week Detroit played the Cardinals a few years ago. This was Glenn on the Pivot podcast. Ryan Clark brings up how Kyler Murray reportedly doesn't study. So listen to this.
Learning how to win games, how to close out games. I remember the Arizona game, probably our best game of the year, right? Defensively, man, we went after them, right? I mean, I call cover 0 more than I've ever called in my life because, listen, Kyle, I'm finna go at you, bro.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just telling you.
Well, we know he's not studying anyway, so.
4
hours a week.
No doubt. That's a whole nother subject. Learning how to win games, how to close out games. I remember
he's mocking the idea that that report came out. Not even a report; it was in the contract that they said you have to study. Basically, if we're going to sign you to this extension, they needed to put that in the deal.
Yeah. It feels unlikely. It feels unlikely, especially the Reich thing with the size. So yeah, Cousins or Winston, dude. Like, where else are you going to go?
You have to trade for Winston though.
Cousins.
Cousins just cost you money.
What is your preference?
Logically,
What's your preference right now?
My preference is to get a bridge where I don't have to give up any significant asset.
So Cousins
would be the ideal guy at this point.
Yeah.
He finished the year playing well. He's a good leader. I think he obviously would help mentor whoever they draft on day 2 or day 3, whatever the plan is there.
Yep.
I'd sign Cousins, bring back Tyrod, and then draft Garrett Nussmeier, for example, or someone of that ilk.
Yeah, I saw you guys Senior Bowl stuff. Nussmeier slung it around. I heard from you, right?
He was probably the best of the quarterbacks. Now, full disclosure, I didn't see every practice because only the Jets could fire a coordinator and then hire a coordinator back-to-back days in late January when their season was over the first week of the month.
And you saw Muji down there talking smack, right?
Muji was not there. So contrary to what might have been said publicly by some in the media, he was not in Mobile.
That kind of came out of nowhere. Like, listen, Marash, say what you will about his report, but I don't think he ever said Muji was down at the Senior Bowl. He just said he was talking to people down at the Senior Bowl, like communication. But regardless, it's like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you were burning both ends down at the Senior Bowl because of that news.
Yeah, it was just well, it's time to go and not watch practice today.
I would have felt bad, but I was laughing instead. Let me say that.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. ISU writes in, when people keep comparing Arvell Reese to Parsons, it kind of makes it a no-brainer, especially if they are indeed switching to a 3-4. People just loosely throw comparisons in terms of draft evaluation. So I'm not sitting here telling you Arvell Reese is Micah. I'm just reading what McShay wrote yesterday, that Reese could be used how Micah was used as a rookie in Dallas.
Only think of the comparison in terms of how he was used in college. That's it. And how he could be used in the NFL. And also 3-4 guys, I'm telling you, you do the biggest favor for yourselves by getting the 3-4 stuff out of your head. They're going to be, it's going to be multiple. It's going to be much of the same. It would just tight and mint just mixed in. And when I say tight or mint, it's nickel with a 3-man line, 0 tech, 2 4-eyes. So it looks like a 3-4 out of the nickel, kind of. Maybe a joker with, and that could be Arvell Reese as the joker on the weak passing side. So I don't know. We'll see. But Arvell, to your point, yeah, Arvell would fit 3-4 at the end, or 3-4 as a linebacker.
He would. I need you to watch David Bailey because I think he's the guy that I might like him more.
Are you
than
loving Bailey more?
Well, I think I like him better than Bain because I think if it's close, people could say the arm length doesn't matter. And when I watch Bain, like I don't see his arm length stopping him from being a dude when we watched him at Miami this year. But that could be the deciding factor. Look at Will Campbell, right? Like,
correct.
He was bad in the playoffs against elite competition. You know, people will now bring up the arm length as something to be used against him.
Yeah, just attack it logically. Like, would the arm length stop Bain totally? No. Would height stop a corner? No. But is it a factor? Yes. Like it is. It's a major factor. Michael Jordan. Do you think Michael Jordan would be Michael Jordan if his hands weren't as big as they were? Like he would toy with guys. That was a major part of who he became in terms of basketball player. So arm length does matter for sure. Bain more for me is just the, like if it was Rex's team 2010, forget roster, forget whatever they had. I would be more prone to take Bain to allow him dominate in the trenches. I wouldn't need him outside in space as much. But today, Reese just, maybe Bailey could be that guy too. We'll see.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Tyler Durant checks in. He's related to Kevin, obviously. Any other Canadians on here who gift membership / super chats. Zelle and Venmo won't be accepted on my end. Tyler, we have plenty of Canadian listeners, including our guy Boomtown, and he's always able to gift. So if you're watching on your phone, that's why you can't gift, but you can super chat from the phone. Go on the laptop if you want to gift, or a desktop computer. Appreciate you being tuned in via X. If you're watching on Twitter, that's probably why you can't do either, because it's only on YouTube where you can actually gift the community memberships.
Yeah, I can't believe that mobile thing is still like that. How have they not fixed that? I don't get it.
Just a bad job by Mr. Tube.
Yeah.
Real bad job. We're presented by FanDuel. We're going to get to your calls coming up. Robbie, your thoughts on the Jets having the lowest Super Bowl odds going into the offseason, plus 25,000, meaning, folks, if you bet $100 on the Jets to win the Super Bowl 1 year from now, you would have $25,000 coming your way.
Hey, where was New England at this point last year? Wasn't
they
good.
were not 32, but they had
no
obviously enormous odds.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Chicago wasn't good. Jacksonville wasn't good. Washington was very good. Yeah, listen, should they be 32nd? I don't know. Does it outrage me? No, not at all. Like they reap what they sow. It's that simple. And until they've had enough and they start winning games and doing the right things that allow them to win games. But like Harrison Phillips, he talks about the cancerous culture and the guys that were there. Am I saying there's nothing to that? No, of course there's something to that. It's a major deal, 100%. But it's the same convo that has been had around here for 15 years. That's not the whole pie. That's not the whole reason they can't get out of this rut. There are so many more aspects to it that deal with smarts in terms of football, on field, play to play, week to week, being a chameleon, doing those things that they just haven't had the light bulb flicker on for them yet. And hopefully it does this offseason.
Interesting comment that I just saw from the great Beast Breaker. He says, I wish I had 25 grand.
Who got 25 grand? Where did that come from?
If you bet $100 on the Jets to win the Super Bowl and they do it, you have 25 grand in your pocket.
We talked about that so long ago. I forgot already. Yeah. Hey, lay that bet, Beast. Go for it, dude. What do you got to lose?
Ladies and gentlemen, these super chats are both following the same theme, so we'll do them back to back. Ant Banks writes in, is David Carr a real option? He's not. He's since been retired for many, many, many years. However, his brother Derek, perhaps he could be an option. I'm assuming that's who Ant meant. Yeah. Mario writes in with a super chat. There's podcast audio of Derek Carr saying he loves AG as a coach and he loves the Jet fans. Evan and Tiki played the audio earlier today. So Derek Carr reportedly would come out of retirement for the right situation. Are you interested in Derek Carr?
Well, number one, David Carr, I hope his family put a welfare check on him Sunday night when he was watching Drake May and that offensive line. That's one. Number two, Derek Carr. I don't know. That's an interesting one. I know his name was floated out there. I wouldn't immediately reject it. I'll say that. But it's kind of like the Frank Reich idea. It's kind of one of those things. Like, it should be an option. It should be treated seriously as an option. But I wouldn't outright reject it either.
You never know
yeah,
what could happen, but I'd be surprised if Derek Carr comes out of retirement and he's like, I want to go to the Jets as my choice here.
Very, very surprised. Yes.
Now, the clip of him saying that he loves Jet fans, that was in relation to a couple of years ago. He did a podcast.
And they were courting him.
They were talking about, not even that. They were talking about the fact that when the Jets in the Gase year of 2020, when we all wanted them to lose, and Carr threw the touchdown to beat the Jets in that game, the Henry Ruggs that got Greg Williams fired. He said Jet fans went out of their way to donate to Derek Carr's charity all week because the Jet fan was pumped that they lost that game, and we were like, the dream tank continues. That was the craziest season, man. I've never celebrated more for a negative thing to happen to the team I live and die with than I did during that game. That was insane.
That Ruggs play was the loudest I've ever heard a press box in my life. Press boxes have to be professional. You don't lose your shit. YERSHIT. And like, being humans, like human nature, you can't help it. Like, you see Greg Williams go cover zero in that situation, and then your corner when it's cover zero, I forget who the corner was. Who the hell was the corner? Do you remember on Ruggs?
I do. Rookie Lamar Jackson. Remember him?
Oh, that's right. When you're playing cover zero, first of all, cover zero should not be called in that situation. But when you are, you have to, the cushion you have to give to the receiver is insane. And the cushion just wasn't there. And he let Ruggs behind him. Wild. The press box exploded. They couldn't believe it.
So here's the clip from the pod. This is from last year when Carr was a guest on his brother's pod. I don't know if they do it together or I don't know the details of this. If this becomes a real thing, we'll certainly learn more about Derek Carr. But this was Derek Carr in that clip you and I were just discussing.
But I also love Jet fans. Here's why. Okay. I checked cover zero little deal. I throw this game winner. Henry Ruggs. Okay. Jet fans, because we helped them get a worse draft pick, donated to Valley Children's Hospital.
Oh, that's cool.
They're like, Derek, I got so many tweets. Thank you so much.
That's cool.
And Valley Children's even was like telling me, we're getting so many New Jersey and New York calls right now to donate.
Awesome. That's pretty awesome.
Jet fans,
well done there.
I love you.
I'll give
thank
you that.
you for helping the kids.
Homegrown with Derek and David Carr new episode every Thursday. So there you go.
That's a great story, and good for the kids, and good for the Jets, the tank, the almighty tank. And here we are, more than half decade later. It hasn't worked.
Now, there's a guy that is watching the show via Twitter, A-Rap, who says Derek Carr is giving hints on his pod. He might be a Jet. He had a Jets hoodie and says he loves AG and Garrett Wilson. Look up that audio. So I will look into this. There's more episodes saying he loves AG and talks to him. Well, he knew him when they were, both in New Orleans? Was there overlap?
There had to. No, that's a good question.
Well, David Carr would know Aaron Glenn because when David Carr was drafted, Glenn was at the end of his career with the Texans.
Yes.
When the Jets lost Glenn in the expansion draft, when Houston became a team in 2002.
Yeah, there's definitely a connection with the family, but I don't know if
I think that's who A-Rob's referring to. David Carr, who was the first pick in the draft. He was Eli's backup on the 2011 Giants Super Bowl team, right? David Carr would have a relationship with Aaron Glenn because they were teammates.
Glenn and Derek missed each other by a year or two in New Orleans.
Gator says Carr will be 35 in March, Cousins 35. Yeah, the age thing doesn't really concern me because this is like a 1-year thing in all likelihood.
Yes. Yeah. Don't sweat it. 35's the new 18.
I'd rather Cousins than Carr for what it's worth.
Yeah, me too. Grab the guy still in the game. At their height of their career, it's still Cousins. Yeah, I agree. I'd go Cousins too.
306 Jet, who was just watching on X, he came over to YouTube. He signed himself up to be a channel member. And then how about this? He's gifting the Asmaniac community 5 channel memberships, which means 5 raffle tickets for 306 Jet 9.
It's J-E-T-S, Jets. I love Fireman Ed too.
Hell yeah, 306. Appreciate your support. Really, really means a lot. Joe M checks in. Jet should go full Seinfeld mode. Do the opposite of what Glenn wants.
Do the opposite. Well, first hire the ass man to be defensive coordinator.
That's right.
There you go. There's one. Who lives with their parents and is unemployed? That's the question. We gotta search for the right man.
It's not a lie, if you believe it.
It's scary. Yeah, I kind of believe that too. Someone could pass the lie detector if their brain is tricky enough to get that done. Beastbreaker strikes me as a fella who may be able to do that.
JD says Cousin looked bad last year. He looked bad against the Jets in a lot of that game. If you look at how he finished the year, though, he ended the year playing well, and Atlanta finished playing good football. They were 8-9.
Yeah, listen, Cousins, he didn't tear it up, but we're not. The Jets aren't the belle of the ball right now. Let's just put it into perspective.
Hit the like button, comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Appreciate everyone being tuned in. Let's get to some of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, our first caller announced that he was undergoing toe amputation.
He called tow truck?
Bobby Midnight had his toe amputated.
Are you serious?
I swear to God.
So I'm making dad jokes on a serious topic here?
You were making dad jokes on a very serious topic. So, ladies and gentlemen, We go live to the hospital to find out how it all went down. It's time.
Oh, you know I like the Yankees and the Jets. Can't believe Jake and Roger met. I'm more than just a hat on Bobby.
Bobby.
Hello,
Bobby.
Robbie.
Hey, how you feeling, buddy?
Looks like the internet's not great in the hospital.
No.
Bob, you there?
No, I don't think so. Yeah,
Bobby, how you feeling?
here.
How you feeling,
See me?
Bobby?
Good. I'm doing
That's
good. The toes amputated.
You got
I'm
9
like
more.
Nick Shine, 9-toe brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, me and Nick Shine are 9-toe brothers.
I mean, listen, that's
We're
why God gives you
twins.
10.
Yeah.
How you recovering, Bob? Take us
So
through
how
it.
you doing, Robbie? Haven't seen you in. Very
Yeah.
good. I'm just chilling right now. I'm laying on the chair. Chilling here.
You relaxing?
I'm on the chair, not the bed. I like this chair better.
That
What'd they
changes
do with the
everything.
toe?
Chair better. Yeah. So I don't know what they did to the toe. They didn't tell me. It's a surprise.
You
I
didn't
guess.
want to keep it?
I don't know.
How you
No,
I
feeling?
already
you
calling
don't
you
think
Bobby
so,
Nine Toes.
no. I don't think so. Yep, that's true. So, Robbie Sabo, haven't seen you in ages. Miss you,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
You doing good?
Yeah, you know, hanging in there, living life.
So, who is this guy you like in the draft? You said the linebacker. What team is he from?
Ohio State. Arvell Reese.
Who's the guy you like?
Arvell Reese.
Oh, okay, Ohio State.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't follow the draft. I don't care. Hey, I like the Giants signing. Did you? John Harbaugh?
Oh, how can you not like Harbaugh? I mean,
That was a good pickup.
he's
Yeah, I was
he's a
shocked.
football coach. Like, he is a football coach. When you look up
Yes,
football
he
coach
is.
in the dictionary, John Harbaugh's there.
Yeah. I think Jets should have got McCarthy, right? Jake?
I would have certainly taken him.
Jake?
Yes, Bob.
Yeah,
This
me
delay is
too.
brutal, Bob.
Yeah, I would have too.
Call back when you hopefully have better internet, Bob, because we want to ask you how you're doing and find out all about the procedure, what the timeline is. At least you look good.
Is this a recent thing? Like, how did this happen? What happened?
He announced it yesterday. I knew he was going into the hospital because he was having some issues, but we didn't know that it'd be full on.
Yeah. That sucks. But
Bobby
hey,
Nine Toes.
yeah, you got 9 more. What are you gonna like? When I would hurt my hand or arm as a kid, and my dad would be like, "Oh, you got your left arm. You're fine."
Pat
So-
McAfee's tank top wants to know: is Bobby going to mention Nick Shine every time he talks about his toe? Probably.
Any publicity is good publicity. Remember that, Nick.
Nick Shine is the #1 Jets content creator with 9 toes.
Well, there's competition now. The academy is going to have to create another class of award.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have some exciting news. Beastbreaker wrote in, just had a shower and I feel great. So let's check in with a man who is freshly clean and get his thoughts on the New York Jets.
Woo! Ka-ching!
Yo, Robbie, what's poppin' there, G-Dog?
What's you still got 10 toes?
Duh. One word. Duh. I like Rex.
Sexy.
I like that. That's a good move.
Ka-ching!
Can we all knock it off with the Ric Flair stuff? I mean,
That ain't Ric Flair, is it?
Ric Flair came up with woo.
Yo, well, yeah, I know. Woo, but
Come on, who's the
Gotta-
only man that who's the only man that has alligator shoes, alligator belts, a $30,000 Rolex watch, cat dressing himself in $100 slacks, $30,000 Rolexes, got the biggest house on the side of town, has the biggest TV on the side of town, and has the prettiest wife in the world? Come on, Ric Flair. Ric Flair is king.
and who's one-handed
And I was-
chop? Yeah.
The only man that goes Woo! And I'm going to say it with no shame. We're still going to go after those. If we don't get him, we'll get Batman Bane.
Woo!
You know what I mean by Batman Bane. After all, you guys love Batman more than I do. But, Batman's a little way too much for me. Too much. I can understand where you guys have the differences. That's DC. I like Marvel. I like Capcom. I like Marvel. You guys like DC.
You
DC
like Marvel
Comics.
better than DC?
Well, I'm a Marvel guy. I like my Marvel. Street Fighter, X-Men, the good stuff. But we're going to get new boys this year. We need new boys. I'm talking men with meat on their muscles and an attitude that'll put you right on your ass. And I'm talking the one that go in your face. And I'm talking, you know what I mean by we're gonna be in your face. This is the year that finally say time to get up, get in these teams' faces, shove them on their ass around it too, and give them a nice good swift kick in the ass.
Oh shit!
And you know what I mean by now, Robbie. I want to show you something. Nobody gives a shit. Right here.
Oh.
These are guns that these guys need.
Oh.
These are guns that they need. Guns.
Mountains.
And then I'll tell you, this is all meat and vegetables. See, that's another person who fears vegetables is a guy in Texas who's too chicken to put up a garden because he's too yellow to go out spend 30 or 40 bucks on corn, carrots, lettuce, peppers, tomatoes, even other fresh fruits and veggies. You have a little bit in you. It's good for the body. It's also good fiber too. Even some roughage. Roughage. You've heard of that word roughage? Nobody gives a shit. Well, some people are gonna have to learn to give a shit because if you don't have no roughage in your system, then what are you gonna have? What are you gonna do for the rest of your life? Eat trash out of the Dollar Tree bin?
Rejected. Sorry.
Covered a lot of ground there, Robbie. Your thoughts?
Let's break it down. The man spoke for a minute and a half. He said roughage. Jets need men with meat on their muscles, and threw the word ass in there a few times. Do that with what you will, my people.
Yeah, but the big takeaway is Robbie's new name is G-Dog.
G-Dog. I got street cred. You guys don't know, dude.
More of your calls right now. We'll wrap up with Robbie shortly. If you're on hold, I guarantee you will get on the show today. So stay right there. Chef Kevin is next. What's up, Kev?
Hey, Jake, Robbie. Good morning, fellas. How y'all doing?
Kevin.
Hey, Jake, man. Such a pleasure, man, seeing what you were doing out there on Radio Row, man. Yo, you killed it, man. Just hits after hits, man. You feel so comfortable. When it comes to what you do, you're the best in the game, man, by far.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. It's a crazy week, but I'm glad listeners enjoy it. Something a little different. It gives us a nice little break from the normal show as we kind of get set for the off season here. So I look forward to it every year.
That's right. Years past, you killed it this year. Just phenomenal, man. Hats off to you. For one, man, Robbie, I just had this question, man, because for me, I know you've been a Jet fan a long time. You cover the team and all that. There are players that you need. You need veteran presence to help build the locker room.
Yes.
Jake did a great job with Harrison Phillips. That interview was great. The story that Harrison Phillips had at the end, with the alcoholic father and the kids, I could relate. My dad's an alcoholic. I came out pretty well. My brother, God bless him, he's no longer with us. It was a tough one to hear, but I felt it. The problem with me with that was that Harrison Phillips was doing a lot of pointing the finger around, and his production on the field, it really wasn't good, man. The guy didn't record a sack. So for me, it's like, are we bought in on this at this point, knowing, hey, all right, we still need draft picks, we still need free agency and all that, like good story? Can we get behind this? Or is this just something that you hear all the time?
No, I think, well, first of all, I'm in the same boat. The Irish runs deep in my family history. Let's just say that. Secondly, I think it's a tangible thing, what Phillips is saying. There's no question. He's not, let's put it this way, he's not wrong. And I also wouldn't look at his production and say it was bad, because he's playing a lot of zero tech, one tech, nose tackle, where his job is just to eat up space. So don't worry about the sacks. But I think the major takeaway is players are going to think like players. Coaches have to make sure they think like coaches, not like players. So when you're a player and you're in a locker room, you look around at the culture, you look around at the leadership. So all that stuff he says, I take it as truth. I take it as gospel. But that's not the only thing. It's not even close to the only thing that matters. You could have you could have choir boys and the best leaders in the world. If the coaches think like players as opposed to thinking like coaches in NFL 2026, it won't matter. So I think that's the takeaway. Yes, it matters. But for Glenn, it's about so much more than just that.
Agreed. Tyrod, Jake did an awesome job with that.
I missed the Tyrod one.
The AD Mitchell was good. The only thing for me that got me like really going with AD was him saying that the players want to win more than the fans. For AD to come here and say that he wants to win more than us, there's no way. What I saw on the field, what all of us saw, I didn't see a lot of fight. I didn't see people just acting like dogs out there, just fighting for every single inch. I didn't see that. So, for him to say that, that I need to see it on the field because it didn't back it up. There's no way he wants to win more than us. We'll literally do anything for wins, for playoff berths, anything. But I don't feel like he's our number 2, number 3 option. If we come into this season with him at number 2, I really don't feel like we're doing ourselves any justice for the quarterback that's coming in.
Yeah, agreed. And a lot of it comes down to what are they gonna say after a 3-win season? You know what I mean? Like, what could they say? So
yeah, Phillips is rare though, because like you get the sense like he truly does believe he's buying in. It's a real leadership opportunity for him, but
100%.
It's just like, again, like all that sounds nice in the offseason. We know Glenn's around, so they're going to back him and support him and all that. But you start 0-7 again or anything close, like whatever buy-in you have, it's gone again. Like that's the biggest thing. If they had gotten out to a decent start, we wouldn't be talking about what we ended up having to talk about. They wouldn't have made the trades in the first place. Like it just. Everything gets cured when you win. Like, it's not that complicated. Like, you obviously need good football players, but you need good coaching, too. You need guys to be schematically in the right place in today's NFL.
Yeah, it's like, imagine you have a dyslexic kid that's not diagnosed, and he's a good kid, and he's doing his best, and he's studying, and he does all the right things, and he still fails. He still can't get it done. It doesn't matter how good a kid, how hard he works, if you don't diagnose the problem. Like, unless you figure it out, there's a major problem here. We have to fix that before anything else improves. That's kind of how I view the Jets. And they can have the best guys in the world, the best leaders. They've been talking about culture for a decade and a half. You gotta get the formula right in terms of on-field strategy. That's where I land right now.
I agree. The talk, I'm with you, Jake. The talk is all, it's what it is. Devontae Adams, he did the same thing. Not to talk too much further back, but I think on this show, we was talking about the Gettysburg Address with how Devontae Adams was giving speeches and all that kind of stuff, and it just didn't translate into production, man. I don't care about the talk, man. I want to see people really, really fight for us, play hard, be physical, show emotion, man. That Patriots game, Robbie, the team gave up. They were sitting on the bench, bird's eye view of everybody. No one's cheering. Fields all the way in the back. Not to bring a cloud to today's program, but for me, it's just like I need to see more, man. I need to see more fight. I'm done with the talking, man. I really need to see the production. And now with the coaches that we got, I feel like right now with what we did, it's better than what we did last year. Yeah, it was just a clean slate of basically all the coaching staff. But now with what I'm seeing here, I could feel a little bit better. But now we really need to bring this together, man, with all the talent.
Yeah, agreed. Preach.
Well said, Kevin. Great shirt, by the way. I can't wait to see what Curtis Martin said about the Monday Night Miracle on the doc on Vice later.
Well, yeah, who are the players?
Jake, man.
Who are the players on the doc? Do you know?
Great call, Kev. So Curtis Martin was one.
Did they get Corbett?
I don't think they got Corbett. I mean, he wasn't in the trailer. I don't know who all the players were. I know Curtis Martin, Patrick Surtain Sr., because he was on Miami.
Yep. Taylor,
myself, Fireman Ed. There were others too. Just they're not in the trailer, so I don't know off the top of my head.
That'll be interesting. When is it coming out? I gotta watch that.
Comes out tonight at 9 Eastern.
Ah, beautiful.
That's right. That's right. Super chat here from Bo C. Question for Street Cred G-Dog. What move are you making towards the O-line and D-line during the draft and free agency? Who are you keeping and letting go? Well, we talked about Reese and the options at 2 already, but how about your thoughts on the O-line and what they do specifically with Tippmann and then AVT and Simpson are free agents? What would you do?
Well, number one, who named me G-Dog? I got to know, because that's a hell of a polar extreme when someone called me Mr. Bean back in the day once. Who was it? Who named me G-Dog? I must know. But free agency, I don't know. Honestly, it's such it feels so far away, and it's really not. What is it, a month away now? Free agency? So
just about.
I think Anzalone is by far the guy I would target most. Cousins, I guess, would be the next on the list. Who else did you mention? AVT.
By the way, Beast called you G-Dog on the call. That's where that comes from.
Is that where it came from?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw Black Gypsy. My God, he just murdered Beast in a chat. Like Black Gypsy, be easy. You killed Beast with that comment. AVT, it just takes one franchise to offer him a significant contract, and then you're out. That's what I would do with AVT. I want him back. I want to bring him back, but I can't rely on him. It can't be a legit deal. The guaranteed money cannot be serious. And if one team offers him a legit deal, I got to let him go. But I definitely would try to bring him back.
I think AVT, if you can get him at the right price, makes sense because he's got the higher upside.
Yes.
You could find another John Simpson. You could play Myers at center for now and then draft someone, on day 2. Like, there's a lot of options. So
yeah. They're healthy enough. They have enough bodies and talent where you could
give me
go
the guy
into
with the higher ceiling. Yeah,
Yes.
take the swing on AVT being healthy for a year.
Yes, and you feel good about Hayden. And you feel good enough about the OC. You feel great about Hayden. So you feel good enough about the coaching. So, yeah, I agree.
Barbarossa, what's poppin', G-Dog? That's what he said.
Poppin' G-Dog? Yeah, dude, I'll wear it. G-Dog's my name.
One last call with Sabo, and then I'll stay on for the rest of the chats. We'll do our raffle for a Jets jersey. Right now, we've had 7 people that have gifted a membership. We've had some super chats that qualify. Again, if you missed the announcement for the new weekly set of prizes, on Friday, we raffle away a signed jersey by each member of the legendary New York Sack Exchange, a signed helmet by the GOAT, Darrell Revis, and a signed jersey by the late, great Nick Mangold. With that, I want everyone to stop what you're doing, get your guesses in, because it's time for Kyle Clifton.
Robbie, you're getting off easy. Will Parkinson once confused me with Beastbreaker. It was crushing.
That's tough.
Dude, I'm not laughing hard. Just pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, we are both bald. Yeah, I guess I don't. Isn't there a lot of projection that goes into Arvell Reese? Like, he hasn't really done it for too long, right?
Right. True. That is very true. Yes.
And the positionless thing, it does give people a lot of concern at 2. I mean, I think it should anyway. To me, this is the draft with 2 picks in the top 16 that you zig rather than zag, and you might go offense with those picks. And then with picks 33, 44, whatever the next one is, 103, I think, 103 or 104. Then hit defense because it's a defense heavy draft. And if you can trade out of 33 and pick up more picks to fill out your defense, all the better. Like, I think we have to be very thoughtful about how we attack this draft because, we're going to be able to totally control next year's draft, in my view. If we can go back a little bit and stay within the top 20 and get extra picks for next year, which could be tough if obviously Indy and the Cowboys weren't very protective of their 2027 picks. And, I've heard people like McShay say they should be treating those picks like they're gold because of how deep and good next year's draft is. And I think that having the offense set up as turnkey would be great for when we bring the quarterback in, and just trying to fill out some of the pieces through free agency and the later and mid rounds of the draft, and coaching it up with a new staff is probably the way to go. That's just me, and I would like to hear your reactions to that.
I wouldn't be opposed to trading down whatsoever. That was your suggestion, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to be able to stay in the top 20 because I think it's a 20-person first round. Like if you can go from 2 to 9, I don't really think that there's much of a difference from many of the players that are in this draft between 2 and 16, to be quite honest with you.
So I'm not opposed to it. I think, what is my top option right now? I don't know. I think it's still Reese as my top option, but I'm not opposed to trading down. I'm not opposed to, all things being equal, I want the receiver over the defender.
Yeah,
I don't think all things are equal, and I'm also not against Reese at 2 and the safety at 16. Not against that either, if he's that special. And I haven't come to that conclusion yet. But I will say this: I am 100. This is on tape. This is not who he is in terms of personality, his brain. I don't know that stuff. But in terms of on tape, I'm 100% sure Reese can play NFL edge in every situation.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
The only thing with me is like when you talk about the measurables and stuff like that, like I don't want to say the words Vernon Golston, right? Because I know that this is a more talented individual, a more athletic individual.
If he wasn't Ohio State, would Golston come up?
I don't know.
Golston hated football too. Like I talked to Tannenbaum about this. What they got wrong was the player didn't love football enough.
Golston was big. He was like 265. Reese is, he plays
more of an athlete than a strong man, right?
He's what?
More of an athlete than a strong man. That like Golston was kind of like a workout warrior type, I think.
Yes. And when you watch Reese play too, he foams at the mouth. To track his motor, he wants to kill someone on the field, and he had with that you'd expect him to fly around like Quincy and over pursue and go nuts. He breaks down one-on-one. Like it's those contrasting things that you see on tape. They go, holy jeez, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Like
I don't want people to think that I'm shitting on Reese because
I don't.
He could certainly work out. It's just that I feel like in this draft where you're not taking the quarterback, we need to be playing it a little bit safer and get guys that are sure of things.
So I agree with you. And by the way, the position thing for Reese and the experience thing for Reese is a thing that's a consideration for sure. But I'll say this again: to me, Bain is more positionless than Reese is because. Right. Bain is a slow edge in a modern athletic league where you need guys to move outside in the flat, receiver screen, bubble, and he's too small for the inside. So where do you play Bain? Like that's the thing that I'm grappling with. I just can't work it out.
Yeah. I'm going to be going dark over the next week or so, Jake. We are off on a family vacation.
Bain comes from the darkness.
Yeah, I'm taking.
You scouting prospects, Kyle? Are you going on the road?
No, I'm taking Audrey and Rusty to a theme park in California. We're driving the family truckster. So
you're driving out to California?
No, we're going to Central Florida doing this theme park thing. But this probably will be my final call this afternoon. Let's make it a special show.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. What will we do without Clifton? Well, you have an amazing vacation, Kyle. You certainly deserve it.
Is he outside?
Take care, fellas. Be good.
You're the man. He is definitely outside. He was live at MetLife, which is clearly lit up and full of fans in February.
He's playing games with everyone now. You got to love it.
Love it. Kyle, that's awesome. Enjoy the trip with your family. All right, one last super chat for you, Robbie, then we'll let you run. But this one is from Mike Duramo first with a gifted membership. Hell to the air.
We are mama way.
Jet Jaro in the Asmaniac raffle for 2. G-Dog, the consensus is that we want an edge or a receiver at 2 and 16, and the big 3 receivers are not going to make it to 16. Wouldn't it be smarter to take Tate at 2 and say Banks/Falk at 16?
Consensus is we want edge or receiver, and the big 3 receivers are not going to make it to. Depends how you feel about all the players.
What's your grade on those guys compared to the edges at 2 would be the conversation.
The defenders are better. That's the thing. Like it's a common trap to just get locked into the position and think position in terms of drafting instead of the individual. And to me, when looking at these individuals, Reese is clearly the guy that I would draft. So that's why I would go with him at 2. Downs with the position hurts him, but my God, again, like I view him in a way it's tough to pass. So I don't disagree with him in terms of position. Again, all things being equal, I want the receiver. I want the guy who could make a difference on that side with the quarterback, but I don't think they're equal.
Yeah, I think it comes down to your grades on these players. Again,
Yes.
I'm not against receiver at 2. It just feels like that is not
me
going to be
neither.
the approach the Jets take.
Correct. Me neither. And what's deeper, receiver or
Receiver's
edge?
probably deeper than a premium because again, you're getting the best non-quarterback in this draft. I think we like Cornell Tate, but it feels like the defensive players, at least as of now, things change as we know.
Yes.
Feels like the debate is which 3 of the rushers is the best to take at number 2.
Yeah. And by the way, don't view them as rushers only. Like it's, Reese could do by far more than all 3 of them. Bailey, what can he do other than rushing? We'll see. I think he can do stuff. Bain is the best rush defense guy in terms of bulk. So kind of just, and by the way, is Lemon getting leapfrogged or is Tate getting leapfrogged by Lemon in mock drafts now? That wasn't the case 2 weeks ago, right? Like Tate was the.
Some people like Tyson as the best receiver. I think Dom C likes Jordan Tyson.
See, it's all over the place. There isn't one like electric special guy. We'll see. Well, like you said, things change, man. Things change in a hurry.
Yep, no doubt. Yeah. I appreciate you hopping on, Robbie. Good to get you back on a normal Tuesday spot here.
Yes, sir. You got it. See you guys.
Jets X Factor. Go watch the interview the co-host. Go watch the podcast that Robbie and Mr. Corbett put out a couple days ago. Good stuff.
Yep. Frank Reich. Yeah, Corbett talks about Frank Reich.
Teammate.
What's that?
His teammate on that 96
His teammate, dude, he caught a few touchdowns, and we went over the plays, I think, later in the podcast, and then he did a quick one. He wanted to congratulate Sam, so did a quick one yesterday.
Fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Robbie, all the love.
All right, bye.
Robby Sabo with us. Hit the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We got the raffle coming up. Ryan writes in, Jake, how did you get in the documentary for that game just from covering the Jets so much? Yeah, they reached out. I think I mentioned this when I did it that day. There's an Aaron Rodgers documentary that's coming out. I think at some point, maybe early next year. I don't know the date, but I did an interview for that as well. So it's a different company than I think the one that did this one. The one tonight on the Jets Monday Night Miracle is Vice TV. It's a series, don't call it a comeback, where they feature great comebacks in sports. And one of the games they're going to feature for a full episode is the Monday Night Miracle, baby. Tonight at 9 Eastern.
It's prime time, so that's when you want to play your best game.
Definitely a historic rivalry between the Jets and the Dolphins.
It's like, damn, dude. What the hell's going on?
We were down 30-7. The fans left the stadium.
I think that's where you get to see what you're made of and what your team is made of.
Don't call it a comeback. New episode next Tuesday at 9 p.m. only on Vice TV.
Tonight. Hell yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, are you kidding me? We got the best listeners ever. Frank P in the house. Give these out to any Asmaniac. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. Frank P, you are the man. 10 raffle tickets were just purchased. Now we have to divvy up how we want to assign them. Man. Frank P. What a legend. Frank, you're the man. What else is there to say? Give it up for Frank P in the chat. He's simply one of the all-time greats. A great American, if you will.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I have 10 memberships here. I'm going to do a giveaway on the second show. So what if I give 5 to someone right now and 5 courtesy of Frank on the second show? How would people feel about that? So now we got to determine what we want to do. Doc says, I want a jersey. Curly Norman, we have independent wealth of Frank P. I'd love to see Curly win a raffle prize. What jersey would Mr. Negative Curly get? Let's see. JD says Combine and Pro Day is going to shake out all the number 2 talk. That's typically what happens, right? You get to the Combine, they test, and then there's like a consensus. Not always, but like if David Bailey's incredible and Ruben Bain, you know, he doesn't test great and they're like, the arms, then all right, maybe it's like Bailey. Or honestly, gun to my head, if I had to make a prediction right now, I think they're going to take Reese at 2. I think Glenn's going to like the idea of being able to do a lot with him. I think they're going to look at his age. He's 20 years old and say he's got the most upside. And I wouldn't hate the pick. I just hope they coach him properly because I think he's a guy that, you know, he's a joker linebacker edge type. They need to make sure that he has a defined role and is being coached up. Now, I do feel better about his coaching with Dunbar being hired by the Jets as the D-line coach. I thought that was a good move by Glenn. So for what it's worth, we have that. Veteran Jet fan says, thanks, Frank, even though I never get a membership. VJF, you got to make sure in your settings you have on the little button that says you want to receive a gifted membership, so you're eligible. And then it's randomly assigned by Mr. YouTube, Mr. Tube, as we refer to him as. All right, here's what we're going to do. Got a couple of people still on hold. I guarantee I will get to you shortly, but we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we rapid fire through the remaining calls, last chance to get in, plus the raffle for a Jets jersey at the end of this very show. We will be right back, and we will be right back right after this.
Can you guys hear me? 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 Honestly, can you guys hear me? Honestly, guys, can you guys hear me?
Hey, punch the bag.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Get Gary on here. Get Gary on here.
Gary, call in.
We need to evaluate these punches. What is this? Mad Max, what are you doing, bro? I'm boxing. You look like a seal swinging your fists around.
That's terrible. You guys stand like this. Jab, 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 jab. Not like that. No! Punch.
Let's get the punches straight, Beast.
You gotta put it in full force. You're throwing it like an ace. Forward.
Yeah, bro, you can't swing sideways. Dude, you're gonna get knocked out. You gotta tuck your chin in. You gotta have your fists here. And when you throw a punch, you twist, and you come back.
Yes, sir.
And every time you throw a punch, you're coming back because you want to protect your jaw with the other hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
This is no good. Gotta tuck that chin in and you lean forward. You know what I'm saying?
Let's see. Jet.
One of the greatest segments in the history of the show. Mad Max, if he gets into a fight with anyone.
The way he shrugged his shoulders and then went like this.
Mad Max rules has entered the studio. Can you hear me? Yo, can you hear me? What's up? Oh man. Good job. Yo, can you?
It's coaching. We've got penalty improvement. Ran the ball good in garbage time. No field goals blocked. We cut our team MVP. Traded away 2 of our best players. We have Charles London and several moral victories. Fired my DC. 2026, here we come. Don't let go of the rope. I need another hug from Woody. We're built for shit.
Hi, everybody. Look at me today. clean shaven. I took a shower.
After Bobby expressed interest in talking to his friend Ariel of Olive Oil Sports, there was a heightened skepticism of his true intentions. Well, Bobby Midnight, he was hoping that he'd talk to her.
Why does he want to talk to her?
He's a big fan of her work.
That's why he wants to talk to her.
Are you saying Bobby Midnight is a horn dog?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Once you remove the idea that you want to have sex with them, most women don't really have anything interesting to say. And that's not a sign of Ariel or anyone in particular. It's just
here we go,
observation.
Here we go.
Once you take sex out of it, they don't really have that much that's interesting to say. And especially if they're like an 8 or above, they're useless because they've never had to be interesting because everything they've gotten in their life is based solely on one thing, their sex appeal.
Ariel's my friend. She likes me. I'm not going to jump her bones like you think. Oh, I don't want to talk to people that have low ID. I just wanted to say hi to her. Not that I wanted to jump her bones, okay? She's very attractive, but so I don't want to fucking jump her bones, okay?
I certainly don't think that's true. Yeah, you have no idea why you're upset.
Because you said I wanted to jump her bone, you asshole.
I don't even use the term "jump her bones." I've never used that.
You know.
Yeah.
I wanted to jump her bone, you asshole.
This is what a failed state looks like.
This is why I can't stand people
deliver
like
the
this.
packages to where they're supposed to go. They can't do it.
Goddamn
This is a failed. This is what managed decline looks like. This is a failed state.
Yeah. I wanted to jump her bone, you asshole. I wanted to jump her bone. I wanted to jump her bone, you asshole. She's very attractive. I want to talk to people with no ID. Not that I want to jump her bones, but she's very attractive. And I don't want to jump her. I wanted to jump a bone. Can I say hello to
We're back. Gator says he needs to re-edit that video to remove a toe. Only this community, man. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Why don't we do this? Right? Frank P was kind enough to send in a huge super chat, and I was trying to debate how we should assign the memberships. I'm going to give him the Bobby, right? He had his toe amputated yesterday, for those who missed it. So I'm going to give Bobby Midnight, in honor of Frank P, the 10 raffle tickets. So he'll have a chance to win a jersey at the end of the show, and it'll be in the weekly raffle for 10 as well. So, Frank, if that's cool with you, you give the sign off. I think that'd be a nice thing to do for our guy Bob in Vermont. On that note, let's get to a couple remaining calls, and then we will spin the Wheel of Champions. We'll be back this afternoon with Joe Blewett, so definitely check that one out. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason in Jerusalem is up next. What's up, Jason?
Hey, Jake. Welcome back to New York.
It's cold, man. I wish I was still in the Bay Area.
Yeah. First of all, watching that break time video, the Aaron Glenn 2026 press conference of don't drop the rope, don't let go of the rope. I think Gator should change rope to soap, because that's how I feel that the season's going to
go. I hope we're wrong, but I don't have a great feeling as of now.
Yeah. I just saw, first of all, fun stat that I just saw. I don't know if you saw this. The Patriots are 6-6 in Super Bowls and have a negative 66-point differential overall.
Which is kind of crazy because all the Brady ones were close. So they got blown out in the other ones that didn't feature Brady and Bill.
Yeah. I mean, the Bears killed them. The Packers killed them. And obviously this one wasn't close either.
Well, here's a stat for you as well. The Jets are the only team in the AFC East with a 100 winning percentage in Super Bowls.
Yeah, amazing. They also have never represented the AFC, and the Colts have won more AFC East divisions, and they're not even in it.
Stop twisting numbers here. We're talking specifically about all-time Super Bowl winning percentage in the AFC East. The Jets have the best. New England's at 50%. Yes. Miami's at 40%, and Buffalo is at 0%.
Exactly. And we won't mention Scott Norwood.
Well, you can on
I
this show.
saw the yeah, right. I saw the craziest article. It must have been an AI because it was so stupid. I don't know if you saw this about the Jets getting Derek Carr out of retirement to play for the Jets this year.
I mean, he's a name that will be discussed just because they need a quarterback, and so he'll be an option. I would not prefer him over Kirk Cousins, though.
For sure not. But even just the article I'm reading, I think I saw it at Heavy. It said that Carr would want to come to the Jets because they have a top defense. And I'm thinking, what idiot would look at our team with 0 interceptions last year and say, I want to go with them to them. They have a top defense. I mean, I didn't know AI was that stupid, but unless it was written by, I have no idea, some 3-year-old Jet fan who just loves the Jets simply because he was born into it and doesn't know any better yet. How could you even write that with a straight face? Even Manish wouldn't do that bad.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who wrote the story. I don't know what AI bot was used, but I mean, it probably looked up like Derek Carr a couple of years ago in news stories, and it's like, oh, he joined the Jet defense that was number 3 in the league and had Sauce Gardner coming off Rookie of the Year. And, they were really good then. And that was the thought when they were going after him if they didn't get Rodgers.
Right. What do you need to be traded out of 2? What do you want the Jets to get back? Assuming, let's say, Cleveland doesn't want to give up both ones.
So I'm making a deal with Cleveland?
No. Cleveland's the only team that has 2 ones that would make sense that they would trade both of them. But assuming Cleveland's out, if a team is not offering you 2 ones this year, what would it take for you to move out of number 2?
Well, I'd want a 1 next year, depending on the team. It depends how far down I got to go, right? There's a difference in making a deal with Cleveland going from 6 to 2. And, let's say, hypothetically, the Rams want to come all the way up from 13. Like, I need their 1 next year, and I need, like, a 2 this year,
Okay. Would you do it for 13? And when else did the Rams pick in the first round this year? Would you do it for the 2 1s and the 2 this year?
So they have. Do they have 2 1s? Because they have their own. But yeah, so.
Yeah, because they have Atlanta's who was it their first round pick who's currently never going to play again, or was he a different pick? Pierce.
Yeah, that was the Pierce pick. Yeah, the Rams have 29. So if they offered hypothetically 13 and 29 to go up to 2, I probably would do that if I'm the Jets.
Okay.
Because then I can trade out hopefully with 29. I pick 33. Like I'm building my team, man. I'm going to get a good player at 13. I'm going to get a really good player at 16. And I have another pick in round 1. I have another pick essentially on the first, essentially another first with pick 33. Like you're going to end up with really good football players.
I agree. The Jets need more quantity than quality. They have neither right now.
We lost you there, Jason. I think you said the Jets need more quantity, which I agree. I don't think the Jets should be in the business of moving up. Now, look, if they love Mekhi Lemon and they're sold on him, like, okay, I'll listen. But if you're going to move up early, then you have to trade out with one of your second-round picks and recoup something. You don't have a third-round pick right now. So if you're trading up, let's say the Jets wanted to come up, they would have to use 16 and pick 33 to do it in all likelihood. You better trade out of 44 and get a third. Or trade out of 33, still keep 44 and get a third. Or something like that. Basically, there's no player in this draft that I'm moving up for that will cost me anything with my 2027 premium capital. AK, I'm not touching the 3 ones that I have in 27. Those are off limits. There's not a player in this draft that I deem worth it because the Jets need to set themselves up. If Glenn fails and they're picking near the top and they got to move up to get the guy they want a quarterback, you have the ammunition to do it. Or you have the ammunition to attract a big-name coach like Tomlin, McDermott, et cetera, to want this job because they have a path to a quarterback and premium picks to help surround the rest of the roster with. So the 2027 picks are off limits in any trade for me. Hawk says, hell no to that trade. There's only about 15 good players in the draft. We need to move up, not down. We say that, but do we know that, Hawk? And if I had picked 13 and 16, would I not be able to still get 2 good players there and pick 29 now? I'm not in love with the number 2 pick this year. There's no consensus. That's where I'm at. Joey in the house with a super chat. Joey, would you win the Revis helmet or a Curtis Martin helmet? I forget, but I know they were sent and they should be there soon. Muji has Caleb Downs as BPA. Why not take him at number 2? And at 16, take Boston, 6'4", 210, and 11 of his touchdowns the past years were in the red zone where we struggle. I don't hate your thought process on Boston as a prospect. I mentioned him earlier. I think how he tested the combine is going to be big for him. What's his speed at that size? I think that's going to be big for him. But I like him. I don't love him. I like him. We mentioned him earlier. As far as taking Caleb Downs, I don't want to take a safety at 2. I don't. And Joey want to name it helmet. There you go. I don't want to take Downs at 2. I much rather them take the best edge at 2 instead. I'd rather take a receiver before I take a safety at 2. I just don't believe in that process. I wouldn't take a running back, and I wouldn't take a safety at number 2. I would not do it. But again, there's multiple ways the Jets could go about this. That's kind of what makes it exciting for us as fans. There's a lot of things to discuss. A lot of things happening on the Patreon. Members only videos are there as well. Plus, we have updated the list of names for the month of February officially. So if you're a Patreon member, check out your name in the countdown ticker. And big thank you to everyone who supports us via Patreon. Leon, Mark, Snoopy, Moshe, Jesse, Steven, Michael, our most recent Patreon subscribers. You sign up for the year, you save 15%, and you get 10 raffle tickets automatically applied in a weekly raffle. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to count the raffle names. I'm going to start doing that. But there's a man on the line who appears like he is on the move. He is not calling from the usual confines of the Beastbreaker lair.
I got gas right now.
Beast? Beast?
I way to Menards. You know, you save big money when you shop Menards. Yeah, gotta get ready for Menards. But now, as I'm about to say right now, it is time to spin 2026.
I'm not ready.
Oh, you're not ready? I see.
No.
That.
What are you going to be getting at Menards today?
Gotta get peanuts for the little guys, and then I'm gonna get myself some AIM toothpaste because it's on sale for 98 cents. That's called smart investing. See, if you don't play your cards right, get your ass off the table and take a hike. You can't take it.
Little Joey eats nuts. What type of nuts?
No, those are for squirrels. Squirrels eat peanuts. Don't you?
What about these
you gotta
nuts?
know. Calm yo freaky down. Calm yo freaky down, boy.
That's a new drop.
Thank you. Yeah. Pipe bomb. Pipe bomb. That's right. CM Punk style. The way it's gotta be. If you don't have the pipe bomb, you ain't got shit. And it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood today, too. It's gonna be 45 degrees. Smell that air? Yeah. A little bit of odor eaters anyway, you know, the same shit over and over again. So, I'm hoping we do get a good quarterback this year, and I want some guys with beef. No wishy-washies, no small muscles, no penalty prone, and especially no losers. I want men with honor, especially some dignity, and a set of balls. You know, the size of grapefruits. You know, bananas, grapefruits, testicles, brains.
You want testicles?
Someone with the size of testicles that can at least stand up, at least have the guts to fight.
Calm your freaky down.
Family show, Beast. Calm the freaky.
Classy Freddie Blassie once said these words: stand up. Go out there and kick some hiney. And remember, go get them, you bunch of pencil neck geeks. Go do that. All right? Go out and have some fun, you pencil neck geek. And at least remember, enjoy life while you still can. Eat and enjoy life. Live life on the best. Hakuna Matata. Enjoy the lifestyle. Enjoy the morning air. Look at the morning air out there. See all that air? That's beautiful air, except for all that. That's your chemtrails.
Hey, Beast, Ralphie wrote in, Shock Beast has his own teeth to brush after his championship wrestling career, and I'm putting an entry in for you on behalf of Ralphie, so say thank you.
Gracias, Ralphie, but I was about to say, do you see all this up here? That's your chemtrails. Ladies and gentlemen, see, if you don't learn that, you ain't got what it takes. Now I'm going to go in here, go do my thing, set up, and then...
Hollywood Rio says, Beast for Prez. Put me in, Jake.
Hey, as they all say, like a pimp says to his hoes, keep them coming.
Hey, send us to the raffle. I'm ready.
All right. As they all say, it is now time for the 2026 Wheel of Champions.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Oh my goodness gracious, of all the dramatic things I've ever seen, it's Beastbreaker, not in the attic, screaming and yelling about nuts, testicles, and the Asmaniac Weekly Raffle. Ladies and gentlemen, all the names are on the wheel. Of course, for those who tuned into the afternoon stream yesterday, we had a couple entries. We didn't get enough, so we carried that over to this show. And we have everyone who entered during this show. You're all in the weekly raffle, but only one can win a jersey right now. And as Beast is buying expired AIM toothpaste, one of you is about to win a Jets jersey of your choosing. A Jet Legends jersey. You pick the player, and if you win, you email me your name, your address, the player you want the jersey in, and the size, and we will get it sent your way. Good luck to everyone, and thanks to the community for making it possible. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do this on every show. Here we go. The winner is... How about this? It's Mike Duramo who entered the raffle by gifting a membership at 11:32 a.m. The one gifted membership, that's all it takes to win. He's the winner. Hit it.
It's J-E-T-S, Jets. I love Fireman Ed, too.
For those who don't know who Mike is, he's a great listener, comes to a bunch of events. He was nice enough to design the Asmaniac Madness trophy for this year, and he sent me a little prototype of the logo that will be on the trophy right here. I actually have this in front of me at all times now, as we're just a couple weeks away from the tournament. We'll stand for it. So, Mike, you sent me this. We send you a Jets jersey. You pick the player you wanted in. Shoot me a note, and I'll get it ordered for you this week. But Asmaniac Madness, it's coming. We have a committee meeting on Sunday to start to go over the brackets. It's all happening. Get ready. If you want to be eligible, make sure you call in this week. Boomtown and the committee are going to get to work on putting together the field of 68 this year. We're expanding the tournament from 64 to 68. So what's happening, folks? Get ready. Asmaniac Madness is upon us, and it is going to be legendary. On that note, I want to thank everyone who tuned in. Great show with Robby Sabo. Awesome show, I promise, coming your way with our guy, Joe Blowett, this afternoon. So I'm looking forward to that. Until then, I will talk to you guys later. And a reminder, 9 p.m. tonight, Vice TV, the trailer all about the Jets comeback on Monday Night Football, also known as the Monday Night Miracle. Go Jets. I'll talk to you later. And, of course, like and subscribe on your way out of here.
It's prime time, so that's when you want to play your best game.
Definitely a historic rivalry between the Jets and the Dolphins.
It's like, damn, dude. You know, what the hell's going on?
We were down 30-7. The fans left the stadium.
I think that's where you get to see what you're made of and what your team is made of.
Don't call it a comeback. New episode next Tuesday at 9 p.m. only on Vice TV.
Can you hear me?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Good job.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets.